Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my review on the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals palette. I am finally getting this video up. It did take a little while for my palette to actually get to me. I know there's been a ton of reviews already, but I wanted to put this to the test throughout the week so I could give you guys all my thoughts on all of the different formulas. I've used everything in this palette. I'll be swatching everything, giving you guys some comparisons, and then of course a tutorial on how I did my makeup today using the palette. So if you guys want to know all my thoughts on the new Textured Neutrals palette, then just keep on watching. Alright, so here is Tati's palette, the Textured Neutral palette. I feel like I dressed like Tati for the occasion. I feel like she would wear this top. But here is her palette. Very exciting. It's a matte finish, like a soft matte finish, very similar to like NARS packaging. It does get dirty very quickly. I have wiped this down like 7 times today, but it still gets kind of dirty, which is totally fine by me. On the side, it says volume 1, and I'm excited to see what volume 2, volume 3 is gonna be as well in the future. And then on the inside, we have all 24 shades in this palette. So we have 6 different shades with 4 different finishes. The finishes in here are matte, sequin, metallic, and glitter. And then each is like its own color story. So it's basically each like a little quad on its own, and I actually really like that. I like the layout. I love the colors in here. Like, this is a palette where I'm going to use every single shade. I know it's a neutral palette, but honestly, half the neutral palettes I have, I only stick to like 3, 4, or 5 shades out of like 12. But with this, I'm actually going to use everything in here. I think she did a really good job of picking out like the color stories and then the different formulas and finishes in this palette. It's very interesting to have a ton of glitter in a palette. Usually we just get like 1 or 2 in there, and I'll get into all of the formulas and the differences between these glitters and some other glitters in my collection in a little bit. But just a little bit more info on this palette. Clearly it is huge. It has a full-size mirror as well, and then you can lay it flat. It retails for $48. It's currently sold out on Tati's website, tatibeauty.com. But you can pre-order it now, and it will ship before December 15th. So they're gonna do like another order around the holidays, and you'll have it for the holidays if you guys want to get it later. All right, so I think I also did mention it is $48, and then if you get standard shipping, that's what I got. It's $4.95. Tati didn't mess up, or the ordering system didn't mess up originally, and it charged an extra $1. And I thought it was awesome that they refunded us the $1. Like, I did not notice at all, but we got a refund for that extra $1 right away. So customer service is spot on. I do believe that you can't return this palette on the Tati Beauty website. But other than that, everything seems to be running very smoothly with their shipping, customer service, everything that has to do with her new brand, which is awesome. Everyone seems to be happy on Twitter. So that's basically everything about the palette. Let's get into all of the shades and all of the formulas. So there are 4 different formulas, and each shade comes in all 4 formulas. I get confused a little bit with like the names, but basically like each row has a name. So there's 6 names and then the 4 different finishes. So I'm gonna start off just going with all of the glitters. So I'll show you guys some swatches of all 6 glitters. I love every single glitter in here because they're all shades that I'd actually use. And I just wanna show you guys a live swatch of each of the different formulas. So let's pick out one in here. I'm gonna go with Ritual Glitter, and these are really awesome glitters because it almost feels like it has a primer built into it. Definitely incredibly foiled and metallic. This is the shade I have a little bit of in the center of my eye. So I just want to swatch it for you guys so you can see just one swipe how it swatches. It swatches like a foiled metallic shadow. And then I also want to compare it to some other glitters I have in my collection. So one I have that I actually really like is from ColourPop. They have some glitters in a few of their different palettes. This is the California Love palette. This is actually one of my favorite ColourPop palettes. So I'm just going to swatch the shade El Capitan. This is a very similar shade as well. So you can see it's like very glittery. And then if I go to swatch it, it's a little bit underwhelming compared to Tati's glitter. So she's like nailing the glitter game for sure. Glitter formula is definitely spot on. Probably the best glitters I have in my collection. And then next up, we have all 6 metallic shades. They are all very different shades. They're all very shimmery, but they're not necessarily like foiled shadows. These are the shades in the palette that I don't love as much as the other shades. I like them, but I just wish they were a little bit creamier and a little bit more foiled. I know I am biased towards like very metallic foiled shadows, but I just want to show you guys a couple comparisons. So I'm going to show you this shade Soothe Metallic, and it's a gorgeous color for sure. This is one I actually have on my eyes right now. You can see it just looks pretty soft. I'm actually just going to re-swatch it down on my arm because where I put the glitter now, my hand is like all full of glitter. So I'm just going to swatch that again, just a little lower on my arm. And I'll swatch it next to some other formulas so you guys can see the difference. Here is that shade. Like, you have to catch it in a certain light for it to like really pop out. So here's just like a couple comparisons to similar shades, still in that same color pop palette. This is the shade Diego, and this one's like very foiled and wet. So you can see just like the difference between the two. This one just has a bit more pop to it, and it's a bit more opaque. And it definitely looks like a little bit more wet and creamy. And then I found a similar shade. You guys know I love the foiled shadows in Anastasia. I know not every eyeshadow has to be a foiled shadow, but I'm just showing you a little comparison. This is the shade Summer, one of my favorite golds. It's just a very creamy formula. I'm gonna put it on top of the Tati Beauty one. So you can see like this is a foiled shade for comparison, the pigmentation, color payoff, the opacity. And then here's Tati's. And we don't necessarily need it to be foiled like this, but it can have a little bit more pop to it, like this color pop one. That's the one part of the palette I do personally find a little underwhelming. It doesn't need to be super dramatic, but I think it just needed a little bit more pop. Make the metallic shades a little bit more creamy for sure. But that's just, they're good, but that's it. Like, I have a lot of good shadows and I want these to be great. The sequins though, I know a lot of people don't like mattes that have like glitter flecks in them, but I love them so much and I need them and I need more of them. So I am very happy with these sequins, and especially this shade Sequin Ritual. This is a kind of shade that I always apply on my eyes. This just makes a great color for an outer corner where you want it to still be very intense and kind of matte, but you want it to pop a little bit. These kind of shadows are amazing. And you do need to pack on the color for the sequins to really like pop and stand out. But honestly, I have tried just like using this shade Soothe sequined as like a transition shade, and you still see that like shimmer in the shadow as I blend it with a big fluffy brush. So I do find a difference between these when I blend them out and the matte shadows. I feel like it just makes your look a little bit softer. All right, so lastly we have the 6 matte shades in the palette, and these are really great mattes. They're very pigmented, they're very opaque, and they're very creamy, and they actually stick onto your eye. The way cream contour looks when it's blended out and it just goes seamless into your skin, or like a cream blush, that's the way that the mattes look when you blend them out onto your eye. I've just been finding that they look very seamless and not powdery. So I'm gonna swatch a shade Matte Story, this orange shade. It basically, yeah, it's just like a very pigmented, opaque shade. Like, it feels creamy when I swatch it, and you guys know mattes don't swatch the best, so this probably looks underwhelming compared to me hyping it up, but when you apply them, they apply very easily. They are very creamy, very opaque. So really like the matte formula. It's definitely like a happy medium between like pigmentation, color payoff, and just easiness to blend. All right guys, so that is everything for all the shades, formulas, and comparisons. I want to get right into the tutorial so you guys can see I got this eye look using the Textured Neutrals palette. All right, so let's get right into Tati's palette. I'm going to start off with a matte base shade. This one is Matte Aura. I'm just going to apply this to make sure the foundation and concealer on my eyes are set. I also really like how big the pans are because you could also use like some of the shades. Maybe I'll do that today. Mix some of the shades together as like a highlighter. And then we're gonna move into this matte brown shade called Soothe. I'm just gonna use this in my crease. I definitely do like the mattes in here. I like how they're not super like translucent. Like you do get a decent amount of pigmentation. I did film a tutorial using all of these shades. If you guys want something more cool tone and smokier, that will be on my Instagram in the next, like probably in the next day or two. And also just let me know what other looks you want to see with this palette, because I can definitely do maybe like a glittery look with these shadows, but I want to stick to like these warm shades. Those are the ones I'm definitely going to be wearing the most. I'm going to go in with the shade Sequin Ritual. It's this shade right here. I actually love that shade, and I feel like colors like that are so underrated in palettes. I might do a little bit of like a halo eye with this shadow. Basically, this is a matte that just has some sparkle to it. I'm just going in with like a little smaller pencil brush to build up that shade in the inner part of my eye. It looks a little crazy as I get started, but that will change quickly. So you guys can see these are really pigmented. Color really packs on. I'm gonna take a flat brush. This is a Morphe M124, and then I'm just gonna wet it with the Smashbox primer spray. Normally I use like Matte Fix Plus, but I'm honestly just trying to use up the rest of this because I have way too many facial sprays in my collection. And then I'm gonna use this Soothe Metallic shade over here. I was thinking about doing this copper shade, but I feel like it might be a little too dark where, yeah, I think I like this better, where the halo effect is not gonna pop as much with the copper. And I do recommend using the metallic shadows with a wet brush to make them actually look like pretty metallic. If you use them without a wet brush, they're just gonna look like a soft shimmer. I've tried both, and definitely you're gonna get more of an impact with a wet brush or using your finger. All right, so I am gonna add some glitter. I'm gonna use Glitter Ritual here, and I'm actually just gonna apply it with my finger. You can definitely use glitter glue. It's gonna be more intense with glitter glue, but I've also found that it looks really pretty if I just apply with my finger, and it actually does last all day. But you're definitely just gonna get a more dramatic look with glitter glue, but I just want this to be more of like a pop of glitter. And I do want to add a little bit more shimmer in my inner corner, so I'm going to take Metallic Ritual, and I'm just going to wet another Morphe brush, another flat brush, just so that the inner corner doesn't look so heavy. I just want it to give it a little bit of shimmer just to open it back up a little bit. I just added a brown eyeliner. This one is Double Life from Urban Decay. I just got this at the Sephora VIB sale. It's just like a brown shimmer liner, which goes perfectly with this look, but it's what I wear with like every single eyeshadow look. And then for my lower lash line, I'm mixing Ritual Sequin and Metallic, and just combining that to kind of just finish up. All right, so lashes are on. I'm gonna apply some inner corner highlight. I'm gonna use the shade Metallic Aura, and I'm just gonna apply that on my brow bone and inner corner. And then I am going to use that same shade as a face highlighter. It is pretty light, so I'm going to mix together these two shimmer shades, the two metallic shades right here, as my face highlight. Hopefully it looks good. I'm going to take mostly the lighter shade and a little bit of Soothe as well. I think I might wet my highlighter brush. I might just do like a little spritz because I do want to make it just a little bit more dramatic. Okay, so that actually looks really good. I don't think I need any more. Honestly, like I just love applying a ton of highlighter. Like I like wearing too much highlighter, so this is definitely good as a highlighter. All right, but that's the completed look with this palette. I'm gonna zoom you guys out and give you all of my final thoughts. All right, so overall I am very happy with the palette. I think it's a great value for $48, especially because you're getting 6 glitters that are huge in here and really make the value of the palette for sure. This definitely takes the palette to a whole nother level. Like this row right here really makes a difference because it's not just like some random glitters thrown in. They're very thought out, very unique. I will use every single glitter shade in here, and honestly, I can declutter some of my other palettes in my collection that I was holding on to just because they had glitters. So I definitely think that this palette can appeal to people who like bold makeup and neutral makeup. For me, the one downside, like I said, is the metallic shades. I do wish that they popped a little bit more, that they were a little bit creamier and just like a little bit more, had a little more dimension to them. I think that the reason the formula is the way it is because you can have the metallic shades and have that like softer shimmer look and then apply the glitter on top if you want it to look more foiled and intense. I can understand that you don't want like 6 incredibly foiled eyeshadows and then 6 incredibly glittered eyeshadows because then it's all gonna look like too similar. But I just wish it was just like a little extra, just a little extra something going on with the metallic shades. But honestly, that's really my only note with the palette. The mattes, the sequins are all great, easy to blend to me. Basically the whole palette's easy to blend, easy to work with. Like I said, the glitters are very unique with how you can apply them because you can do what I did today and just apply them with your finger and get a little bit more of a softer glitter look. And when I do apply the glitter with no glitter glue, I don't find that the pigmentation fades throughout the day, which is great. I do find that the glitters hold up even without glitter glue. And then if you want an intense metallic glitter look, use some glitter glue. You're gonna be good to go all day long. I did that with this row right here and this shadow, really put it to the test with the wear time. You guys will see an eye tutorial on that. And the glitter lasted all day long. No issues there, no issues with creasing or anything. So you get a lot of variety in here, lots of unique formulas as well. But that is everything for my review of Tati's new and first palette. I was very excited she was launching a makeup line because I feel like she's gonna do a lot of really great things with this makeup line, and I'm excited to see what she comes out with next. That's gonna be everything for today's video. Let me know if you guys purchased this palette or if you plan on purchasing it in the comments down below. And if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.